All
Doing
right. All right.
that.
Heavy metal fans, welcome. We got a special treat here today. We are going to be talking to a fantastic guitarist here, none other than Jack Starr. Welcome, Jack.
Hey, it's my pleasure to be here, Joe. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to have you on. Believe me, it's great to talk to you here. Now, what we want to do is let people know about this unbelievable album that I been listening to for the last little while here. You got a new one coming out. Believe
It's
it's
coming out
July.
on, yeah, sorry, yeah, July 15th. Yeah.
Yep. And it's going to be under the Jack Star's Burning Star label, Souls of the Innocent.
Yeah. It's coming out on Global Rock Records. They're a new metal label from England. The um, the owner of the label, Brian Adams, not to be confused with the the American singer. But Brian Adams is the CEO, and our manager Giles Lavery hooked us up with Global Rock, and it's been really good. So it is coming out on the 15th of July.
All right, great. Well, tell us about how the whole writing process went and when it began for the new album. How far back did you start writing for it?
Um, we started writing about maybe 2.5, 3 years ago, and then the COVID thing happened, and so it became harder to continue, but we managed to finish it, and we were getting together and recording while all this was going on, and so the if the album has a slight gloom and doomy quality to it, it might have been a reaction to everything that was going on, in the news and around us.
All right, yeah. There's a lot of good different types of songs on here. A lot of fantastic guitar, a lot of good, clear, clean cut vocals too. And a lot of days nowadays, it seems like a lot of these bands out there just have to have a guy that just pretty much screams constantly. But I'll tell you, Alex Panza, great singer. How did you meet Alex? How did you find him?
Well, the way it worked out was we had another incredible singer, Todd Michael Hall, who is now in the band Riot, which is one of the original American metal bands, and he did 3 albums with us, and then he decided to go full time with Riot and also to pursue a solo career. And he was also a contestant on The Voice, the TV show The Voice. So when he left, we had a very difficult task of finding someone to fill his shoes, and when you have a singer with that kind of power and range, it's not an easy task. So we kind of did a pretty big casting call, looking for a guy that could do it, and we came up with Alex Panza. He's 29 years old. He's from Turin, Italy, and it turned out that we had actually met him 8 years earlier. He went to one of our concerts in Germany, and he was on the line, on the merchandise table line, to get our autographs and maybe to buy CDs or what have you. And so after we got him in the band, uh, a picture came out, surfaced like everything on the internet, of Alex, who looked like he was really like about 16 years old in the picture, and he was getting our autographs, and so it's really cool. Everything comes full circle in life.
That's an interesting story. Yeah. And obviously the other members that play on the album, um, you
Oh, we,
obviously that you've had played with Ned before.
oh yeah, Ned's been with me for the whole time,
Yeah.
and he's really my main collaborator, partner in crime. In fact, pretty much he's really co-authored almost all the songs on the album. So he's very invaluable, to the sound of Burning Star. And also, we're very fortunate for the last 10 years to have a phenomenal drummer, Rhino, who was in the 80s, he was in the band Manowar, which was a very well known, iconic metal band. And so we've got a really good lineup. And the producer, or co producer of the album, Kevin Burns, uh, actually played with Don Dokken. I think they recorded an album together. And he's our co producer, and he also plays guitar, does harmony guitar, rhythm guitar, just fills in with a lot of the guitar stuff. And and the main thing too is he helps me to get the guitar sound, because that's very, very important. You can be a great guitar player and it won't matter if you don't have a good sound. What we do is we do this thing called reamping, where we send clean signals to the studio, that to Kevin Burns' studio, and he reamps it. So I'll do a guitar track and it'll be totally dry. And what that means for people that are not really attuned to the whole recording process, dry means no effects, no distortion, no delay, no nothing, just the naked guitar signal. And Kevin will take that signal and reamp it through some really great state of the art amplifiers, like uh, this company in Germany called Bogner, and they make these amps that are the 21st century equivalent of Marshalls. So it works out really good that we just have a really great team, between our manager, the label, the people helping us produce the album, like Kevin Burns. Uh, it's a really a fantastic team, and everybody's on the same page. We
Mhm.
want to make a very high quality album that competes with the bands that are out there selling platinum. Uh, we know that that's really the only way that we have a shot in hell, is we got to compete with these guys. We can't, I can't go on your show and say, well, we had a really small budget, so please excuse the horrible sound. We we can't do that.
There's definitely no horrible sound here. I mean, I really love the way the production came out on this album. And
Thanks.
like we talked off camera before, it really takes you back to that early mid 80s time period. A lot of the music really sounds good, but yet it doesn't sound outdated or old or anything. There's definitely a lot there. And
Yeah. No, I was just gonna interrupt and say
mhm.
you notice something that's really important to us, which is, sure, it's cool to have, the 80s sound, but you also need to have the modern production values. And that's what we try to do.
Definitely, yes. Now I'm getting back to that writing process. Now, how do you go about usually coming up with a song? You said Ned helped you. Did the whole band participate in the writing, or was it mostly just you and Ned and other people, or how does it come about?
Well, for the actual, composition of the songs, it's basically me and Ned. Though we've had input also, obviously from our drummer, who's an incredible musician in his own right, and so he's given us some great suggestions for the arrangements, And arrangements are super important also. But as far as the actual composition of the songs, it's pretty much Ned and myself on most of these.
And you guys do all the lyrics together?
Yes, but not so much together in all the songs. Some of the songs are really Ned's babies, where he comes up with all the lyrics, like "Ships in the Night," and also the title track. He's really come up with most of the lyrics, and actually the title "Souls in the Night." And I was really curious, and when he came up with that title, so I asked him about it, and it was really a song about the events that occurred in Las Vegas about, I think, 4 years ago. When there was a mass shooting of concert goers. You know, they were going
Hmm.
to a country a country concert, and so it impacted us. You know, we thought, you know, what a horrible waste. You know, here are these people. You know, they're just going to see a show. You know, they're very innocent. You know, they're it's a very benign thing, and yet doing this innocent act of going to a concert, they lost their lives. So uh, Ned was, I think, even more moved by the whole thing than I was. So he came up with the concept, you know, for Souls of the Innocent. And we wrote a song, but we didn't want to make it super obvious what the song was about, you know. We didn't say, you know, a bad day in Las Vegas, you know, nothing like that. We wanted the lyrics to be um, to be able to be interpreted for other events, you know, and other things where people perish needlessly.
Right. Okay. Now on the album, the standouts that I really came across after my first few listens, "I Am the Sinner," title track, like you mentioned, "All Out War." That's a great song that ends the album there. "Where Eagles Fly." What songs are you proud of, or what do you feel are like the really strong songs on the album?
Uh, well, I think "Souls of the Innocent," the the title track, really comes together really well. There's something about that song where all the parts just fit in so seamlessly. So that song I'm really proud of. "I Am the Sinner" because it's got this great Ozzy meets Dio kind of vibe. You know, it's very solid, that one. And then the song that Ned totally wrote by himself, "Ships in the Night." Great song. Uh, my fiance Linda made a funny comment the other day. She goes, "When you listen to that song, you feel that, you know, Johnny Depp's going to rush out in his pirate costume, you know, because it kind of invokes that whole, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean kind of thing, you know, and but of course you could take it on other levels too, you know, "Ships in the Night." Uh, but it's got that sea, that ocean seafaring kind of thing, which I think is real cool. Now, as far as like, for me personally, I'm going to be most proud of the songs where I feel I really played my best guitar work on. So probably that would be "Road to Hell" and "Drowning in a River of Blood," another love song. Uh, I say that kind of facetiously, but I'm really proud of a lot of the guitar work on those songs. You know, with the thing with Burning Star is that we don't just like record a metal song and then okay, now the guitar player's got 30 seconds, you know, to do a solo. Sometimes we actually leave like a minute for a guitar solo, or even a little bit longer, which is really crazy because crazy but good because it puts me on the spot. It's like, okay, now I have to make an interesting guitar solo, but it's a minute long. So that kind of harkens back to the, you know, old school metal, you know, like, I don't know, you take a song like Highway Star by Deep Purple. The solo is really long, the whole solo section in that song. Or, or a lot of the Iron Maiden songs, you know, they're not interested in doing a quick little guitar solo in and out, you know. They're interested in really creating a mood with the solos, you know, with the guitar solos. And that's what we do. So, and that's kind of how we differ from a lot of the West Coast, you know, metal, you know, like bands, you know, like Rat and Poison and Motley, and who are all great bands as well. But the way they compose music and you know, put their music out on albums, there's no extended solos or a lot of time changes. You know, like within within some of the Burning Star songs, there could be there could be one, two, or three actual time changes where the music actually gets into different time signatures. So we're kind of on the border with progressive rock, and yet we're not.
Now, what's the plan? Are you going to be trying to get out on the road to help tour this for this album?
Yeah, I think that is going to happen in 2023, possibly in late 2022, but definitely in 2023 we will be out there. And part of the reason for that is twofold. COVID seems to be winding down, which is a great thing, and music venues and festivals are opening up again. And the other thing is we kind of want to see where this album is going to go, how it's going to, implement itself in the market, and through that, we will know, and our manager will know, and our label will know what kind of tour we should be thinking about. Are we going to open up, for a well-known band, or a band just bigger than us? It doesn't have to be a platinum band. It just has to be a band that's bigger and will expose us to more people. Are we going to do that? Are we going to do our own, let's say, club tour in America, and in Europe, play certain festivals?
Hmm.
So there's a lot of directions that we could take, and we don't know yet because who knows? This album could really be a game changer for us, and so far it looks like it might just be one because the reaction has been really good so far.
Yep, definitely well deserved. So I wish it'd be great if you could open up for, like you said, a well-known band. It seems like a lot of the bands nowadays, Maiden in particular, they always seem to take out these unknown bands with them. It would be great for once if they took somebody out like yourself, which would really help open some more doors. I think that would help you guys immensely.
Yeah, I think that that would be really cool. I don't know any of the guys in Iron Maiden. Um, I do have one little thing in common with Nico, the drummer, is that way back I was sort of playing in this band, this French metal band called Trust, more like jamming with them, and I actually wrote a song that they recorded, and Nico McBrain also, but he actually played in the band Trust. I don't know for how long, maybe 4 or 5 months. But that's my only like little tiny little connection uh, to Iron Maiden. It would be just the fact that we have this French metal band Trust in common, and so that's kind of cool. And yeah, they would be really a great band to uh, to be on the bill with and to open up for, and from what I understand, they're really nice guys. They're not out to make somebody look bad. Some bands, unfortunately, their attitude is, "You're opening up for us. Here are 2 inches of stage. Good luck, and you get one little speaker, and no lights. So so good luck doing good with the crowd. I can't. They're not like that. Because they're confident. They're Iron Maiden, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you were around since the '80s there with other bands and everything. Have you seen a change though for the better regarding bands getting
Yeah,
along and stuff like that compared to the day when everybody seemed like they were always at each other's throats and stuff?
yeah. I think it's gotten better. I really do. I think part of that is because, you know, let's face it, metal really isn't as big as it used to be. And so there's a camaraderie and a solidarity that a lot of metal musicians have now. And that's a great thing. I see it, when we go overseas and we play festivals. Uh, there's more of a give and take and a sharing. And I think that's a really cool thing. because the bottom line is we're all in this together. We're all playing a music that really, sales wise, doesn't compete, to Lady Gaga or whoever, whoever was the flavor of the year, but it still has a solid core following, heavy metal, and I mean, I could see it with our band, Burning Star. We've had some of the same fans now for like 40 years, and sometimes they'll go to some of our shows and bring their kids, like in Italy and in Germany and in Greece. We're very popular in Greece, and we went there and we love it. It's a tremendous rock and roll, heavy metal country. They really love that kind of music. So, yeah, so we see that, and it's very heartwarming, to see that occur.
Oh, why does it seem like a lot of bands like yourself, Taiketo, a lot of these type bands, for some reason or another, it seems like they're more popular overseas than they are in their own country. What is the reasoning behind that? What do you think? What do you notice from your end of it?
Well, I think in Europe, when they like you, they stay with you more than in America because we're torn every which way in America. There's always something new and better that comes along constantly. Uh, in Europe, I mean, I'll give you a case, kind of a silly example, but take the comedian Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis is still popular in Europe, and he passed away like 10 years ago. But he was really popular in France, uh, and so it's like kind of like they like you, they're gonna still like you, and doesn't matter how old you get. It doesn't matter uh, how many newer bands have come along, they're still gonna support and like you, and so like I said, we have fans that have been with us since day one, and they were even with my previous band, Virgin Steel, and they're still there, and God bless them because we need them, and we love and respect our fans, and I think in America, we have a good following as well, but it's just not as big. And so, but I'm happy with the new label because, well, for instance, I'm doing an interview with you today. 4 5 years ago, 99% of everything that I did, interview wise and concert wise and media wise, magazines, what have you, was European. Uh, this time out, Global Rock, under the direction of Brian Adams, and also our manager Giles Lavery, their attitude is, you live in America, you made a great album, Jack. You, Ned, Rhino, Alex, you guys made a great album. Why not why not see what we can do? Why not put it out there in America? Let's get you doing interviews. Let's get you playing, doing shows. Let's have you, doing these videos. We have 3 videos that we did for this album. The first one is doing really well on YouTube. That's for Souls of the Innocent. The next video comes out July 1st for Demons Behind Me. So let's see what happens. Maybe people in America will discover what people and fans in Greece, Germany, and Italy, and also places like the Czech Republic. You know, maybe they'll say, yeah, this new band. Maybe they never heard of us. This new band sounds really cool.
Yeah, I think listening to the album, I don't think they can you can't really tell how old the band is. It just sounds like good great music. And that's the bottom line. It should be about the music. It shouldn't matter, how long you've been around or
Right.
whatever the case. It should always be about the actual music.
No, I totally agree. You know, we don't want to be the flavor of the month, and we just we want to expand on the following. You know, the cult of people, the worldwide cult, because it really is a worldwide cult. I mean, I'm talking basically every country in the world that listens to metal. Uh, we will get a response. You know, either through email or through magazine articles or whatever social media. I mean, I was joking around with some of my bandmates last year, and I was saying, "You're not going to believe this, guys, but we got fan mail from Transylvania." True story. Transylvania is a real country. They exist. They love metal. They even had a metal festival. So go figure. And we got fan mail from them, and it's hard to say it with a straight face. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, we got fan mail from Transylvania, but we did. And of course, India and China and everything else.
Right, right.
Sorry about that. That was interruption by itself.
So, now, originally, when you first, how old were you when you first picked up the guitar?
Well, let's see. I started playing when I was 12 years old, and honestly, I kind of gave it up, put it under my bed, didn't really think of it for about 3 or 4 years after that. And I got serious about it when I was about 17. That's when I started hearing, bands like Santana, and then I listened to B.B. King and Albert King, and then around like when I was in high school, uh, Led Zeppelin one came out, and the first Black Sabbath album came out, and it was like, wow, this is really the style of music that I was really gravitating towards. It just there was something about it, that I liked. I think maybe it was the passion, the intensity. It wasn't laid back music. The first Led Zeppelin album. When I heard Communication Breakdown,
Mhm.
it was just like somebody just basically, you know, punched me in the face with a, and just said, "Listen to this." And so I wanted to have that intensity in our own way. And when I started, my first bands, that was the concept. We didn't want to be music, background music. We wanted to be very compelling and intense, like my favorite music. Zeppelin, Black
Mhm.
Sabbath, that kind of thing. Judas Priest. I, you know, so I think we're doing that.
Yeah, so obviously you started off with that kind of stuff. How did you end up getting to where you got with Virgin Steel in the early days there with that really heavy music? What was there any other bands that came along that pushed you into that direction, or how would?
Yeah, actually, well, back in 1981, I was like reading British newspapers, like music papers, like Melody Maker, New Musical Express, and I was reading about these bands from England, like Saxon
Mm,
and Angel Witch and Iron Maiden, and I could Budgie, and I could see there was like this whole like scene going on in England that was really cool, and and the beginnings of it were also happening in America, uh, like bands like Riot and the Rods and uh, I don't know, just a bunch of these bands, and uh, I wanted to be part of that, and I figured we could do this in America. There's the new wave of British heavy metal. Well, why can't there be the new wave of American heavy metal? And so on the first Virgin Steel album, in very small letters on the side of the spaceship, we wrote NWOAHM, New Wave of American Heavy Metal. And that was really like almost kind of like throwing a gauntlet out across the sea. And you know, and saying to bands, you know, like Angel Witch and Budgie, hey guys, you know, we can do this also in America. And so it was kind of, and it was in a way, it was our response, and and it started kind of a movement, you know, in America of this kind of music, and it to this day, you know, we're still credited. The first band that I was in, the Virgin Steel, we're still credited with being the pioneers of, you know, this style of music, which, you know, some people call it power metal or epic metal or, you know, whatever, you know, whatever name they give it, you know. But we're credited as being, you know, part of that or the pioneers of that, you know.
Hmm. All right. Well, yeah, it was great. Great talk there, and learning about all that. Was there anything else you care to add about anything, new album, or any other things that we didn't get a chance to discuss?
Yeah, you know, I just want to say basically that uh, the album is really like a labor of love. I mean, it's very well produced, so well produced that I was joking around the other day in another interview, and I said, you know, global rock should really give out earbuds with each album because it's so well recorded that there are layers of sound, you know, in this album that you can really hear even more so, you know, with headphones or earbuds. So I want to give a shout out to Kevin Burns, the co-producer of the album, and everybody connected with the album because, you know, when you put out an album and you're not a platinum artist, you know, like Iron Maiden or Metallica, you have to basically compete with these guys, but you have to do it on a much smaller budget. You can't make excuses and say, well, you know, oh, you know, they're Iron Maiden or they're Metallica, so you know, please excuse us that it doesn't sound as good. You can't do that. You have to make it sound as good, and I think we've succeeded from all the angles, you know, but especially the production angle. The production is really there.
I definitely agree with that. That was the first thing that I noticed. Be after your guitar,
Thank you for that.
and then the vocals. I mean, everything. It just sounds great, and I think it all is because of the production. I mean, you don't really hear albums produced this good. I mean, this is one of those albums probably where you'll never have to worry about remastering it because it sounds great right out of the package.
Right, exactly. Well, maybe record collectors in the future, you know, like 10 years, you know, from now, you know, they kind of debate today, and I'm a record collector as well, you know, regarding, you know, the Led Zeppelin 4. So actually, a year or two ago, Jimmy Page actually remastered it. And the funny thing is, some of the record collectors say, you know, the older version was better. You know, and my feeling is, hey, Jimmy Page remastered it. I'll go with that version. But so you know, it's like sometimes you know it doesn't even need to be remastered or redigitalized. You know, but I think it's kind of a selling point. You know, when they do that. You know, and but I appreciate you saying that. You know,
Yeah.
that you know because that's really part of what we were going for.
Yeah, because like you said, I'm a collector too, and it's like I collect a lot of CDs, and a lot of those '80s CDs, even though they're good and everything, they definitely sound a lot better remastered.
Yeah.
And that a lot of that is because of the technology at the time. Just they didn't have the capabilities to really pull out the full sound that they wanted to. But nowadays, there really is no excuse. I mean, you got all the proper tools that you can do it with.
Yeah, and it's filtered down where you don't have to spend 150, 200,000 to make an album. You can make a very good album, a very competitive album for like 15, $20,000 today. You know, you can do it. It can definitely be done, or even less. And that was unheard of back then. You know, I mean, you had to, at least spend in the 80s. You were going to spend at least like 25, 30 grand to make a great album. You know, and then you had bands like Foreigner back then. I was reading an article. I mean, they were spending like $100,000 just on the food bill for the album. You
Jeez.
know, just on the takeout food going into the recording studio, the the drink budget, the coffee budget, whatever it was. You know, I mean, people were spending like close to $1 million on an album. You know, so I've never had that luxury at any time in my life. But now it doesn't even matter as much because, like what you were saying, it's the equipment is there for almost everybody. You still need you still need the equipment in terms of the guitar setup. Uh, Kevin's studio has like state of the art amplifiers like Bogner and Marshall and state of the art microphones. Some of these microphones cost like $5,000, for one microphone. So, you know, you can do stuff in your bedroom, and some people do that, but it's not going to sound as good as Souls of the Innocent because it was done in a real studio and by real engineers that know what they're doing. So it's still very very important to have the right equipment.
Definitely. All right. Any last second mentions of anything else?
No, I just want to thank you for having us on, having me on to talk about the album. And I really hope that your listeners will check out the album and check out YouTube because the first video is on there now, Souls of the Innocent, and the second video comes out July 1st, and I think they're good videos. The next video is more a conceptual video. So it's a little bit different than the first video. And so check it out.
All right, we'll do. We'll pass the link along to everybody too, so that way they can check it out and see
Excellent.
why we're talking about this album. And I just think it's fantastic. So
Wow.
it was
I
it was great talking to you today, and good luck with the album. And hopefully we'll see you out on tour in the fall or the next year. And it'll be great to catch you guys. That's for sure.
Yeah, because like Night Ranger said, you can still rock in America, and we want to do it.
Exactly. All right. All right
Take,
then. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate all
thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.